are going to try to apply our knowledge about how to find the least common denominator to add algebraic fractions. In the first case, our denominators are already factored. The least common denominator for 5 and 4 is 20. We have 3 x's in our first denominator and 2 x's in our second denominator. The least common denominator has to contain enough x's to contain both denominators in it, so that will be x to the highest exponent we see it, that's x to the third. And the same thing has to happen with y. Y is squared in the first denominator and it's to the fifth in the second denominator, so the least common denominator has to contain as many y's as needed to include the second denominator. Now, what's missing from the first denominator to become the least common denominator? A 4 is missing to make the 20. We have the 3 x's and we are missing y to the third. So we are going to multiply the numerator also with 4y to the third. The first numerator will be 4y to the third plus, what's missing from the second denominator to become 20x to the third y to the fifth? A 5 and an x. So we are going to multiply the top by 5x. So that will be our answer. The answer is 4y to the third plus 5x over 20x to the third y to the fifth. Notice that because the numerator is not factored, we are unable to simplify. The only way to simplify a fraction, which is a division, is by having multiplication to simplify with. In the second case, the one denominator is x minus 2, which is factored, and it would help if we just put a parenthesis around it. And for the second denominator, we need to factor it. It's going to be x plus 5 times x minus 2. And now that both denominators are factored, we can find the least common denominator. The least common denominator has to contain x minus 2, and to the first power it's enough, since the first denominator has it to the first power and the second denominator has it to the first power. And it also has to contain x plus 5, because x plus 5 is a factor of the second denominator. The least common denominator, therefore, is x minus 2, x plus 5. What's missing from the first denominator to become the second denominator? X plus 5 is missing. We are going to multiply the numerator also with x plus 5. So that numerator will be x plus 3 times x plus 5 minus. The second fraction already has the least common denominator as a denominator, so it's multiplied by 1 and by 1. So the second denominator is 13x plus 9. Notice here that I put the 13x plus 9 in parentheses because in front of it is a negative sign which has to distribute to every term of that numerator. What I need to do now is I need to try to factor the numerator to see if there is anything in common with the denominator x minus 2x plus 5 in order to simplify if I can. So I'm going to do some math just in the numerator until I manage to bring it to factored form. I'm going to distribute the x plus 3 here with the x plus 5. It's going to be x squared plus 5x plus 3x plus 15. I'm going to distribute the negative sign in the second parenthesis, so I'm going to get negative 13x and minus 9. And now I'm going to add like terms. I will get x squared. 8x minus 13x is negative 5x, and 15 minus 9 is plus 6. And I can factor that to x minus 3, x minus 2. So now I can write this fraction in factored form. The numerator is x minus 3, x minus 2, and the denominator is x minus 2, x plus 5. And there is a common factor that I can simplify. This factor is x minus 2. Therefore, the simplified form of this difference of fractions is x minus 3 over x plus 5. So you can pause this video right now and see if you can add the two fractions shown, 2x over x squared minus 9 plus 5 over x squared plus x minus 6, and resume the video when you are done to check the answer. So I'm going to add these two fractions. They don't have a common denominator. I need to find the least common denominator to add them. And to find that least common denominator, I will factor the denominators. The first denominator is x plus 3 times x minus 3. The second denominator is x plus 3 times x minus 2. The least common denominator is x plus 3, x minus 3, and x minus 2. Notice that I don't square the x plus 3 because I don't need to. None of the denominators has it squared. All I need is to have the factors of every denominator included in the least common denominator. What factor is missing from the first fraction to become the fraction with the least common denominator? The first denominator has x plus 3 and x minus 3. What is missing is x minus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the denominator and the numerator of this fraction by x minus 2. The first numerator is 2x times x minus 2 plus what's missing from the second fraction to become fraction with the least common denominator. The second fraction has x minus 3, x plus 3 and x minus 2. What's missing is the x minus 3. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by x minus 3 and the denominator by x minus 3. So the second part here in the numerator will be 5 times x minus 3. The next thing I want to do is I want to do some math in the numerator until I can factor it to see if there is any common factors with the denominator that I can simplify. So I'm going to do some math. In the numerator, 2x, x minus 2 plus 5, x minus 3. Let's distribute 2x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 15. This is 2x squared plus x minus 15. We need to know how to factor a trinomial with a leading coefficient different from 1. We do that with the AC method. AC is negative 30. I'm looking for two factors of negative 30 that add to plus 1. This is plus 6 and negative 5. The factorization therefore is going to be 2x with x, that will give me the 2x squared, and 2x times plus 3 will give me the plus 6, and x times negative 5 will give me the negative 5. So the factorization of the numerator is 2x minus 5 times x plus 3. The denominator was x plus 3, x minus 3, x minus 2. There is a common factor. That common factor is x plus 3. That can be simplified. Therefore, the simplified form of the sum of the two fractions is 2x minus 5 over x minus 3, x minus 2.